Yeah.
Yeah, you're approving this agenda. In case there's any changes or modifications.
All right,
or
Joe,
changes
now you're ready to
to
roll.
the agenda.
Okay, Joe.
Call to order, roll call.
Joe Rose,
Here.
Hang on.
John Leader,
Here.
George Mika,
Here.
Rick Corpola, Pat Kinney.
Here.
Okay,
Rick's probably in Florida on vacation.
I think his daughter might be.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay, this is Joe. Can you hear me?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. I'll second it.
Look at me, look at them, I don't know. I'm sure they can hear you, just say you switched computers and you wanna make sure everyone can hear you.
Yeah, I just switched computers and I want to make sure everyone can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Approval of agenda.
We already approved and seconded it.
Okay, already approved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, motion to approve the agenda.
We already motioned it and seconded it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Okay, number 3, approval of zoning and land committee meeting minutes, June 11th, 2020.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 11th.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the zoning and land committee meeting minutes of June 11th. Any comments, questions? Okay, motion, we need, okay, hang on a minute.
Shit.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Abstentions, motion carried. Public comments, 3 minutes. Anyone for public comments? No public comments? Okay, we'll move to the next item on the agenda. Number 5, permits issued revenue account.
You guys have a copy of it there. We generated just over $16,000 for the month, so we had a very good, strong month.
I see an awful lot of bills
Yeah.
going on, lots of stuff going on.
Okay. Anything further on that now? Permits issued revenue account.
All right. I make a motion that we accept the permits and issue revenue account presentation.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second, Pat Kinney.
We got the physical part here, so
Okay,
it's in order.
okay, discussion. Let's vote on it then. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Other business, next meeting date.
Oh, let Jennifer do that.
We'll let Jenny set it because of the upcoming land sale. Okay, Joe?
What's that now?
We're gonna let Jenny set the next meeting date because it's gonna hinge
Okay,
on what
that's
she
good.
does.
I'll get it in my book then, whatever the date is here.
All right.
Joe, they're gonna, let Jennifer decide, because she's gonna have to have a certain date for the land sale, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so when her part comes up, you guys can talk about a date.
Okay. So today is July 23rd. When would that date be then?
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
when, after Jenny is done, that's when you guys will set the date.
Oh, all right. Okay, good. Let's do other business then, and then we'll
I don't
move
have
on
to,
to.
we've, spent a lot of time on the island the last week here, chasing down after the fact permits.
Yeah,
So that'll, a nice revenue generator, some sanitary violations, and then, just some preliminary wetland work we've been working on. That's about it.
okay. Okay, then I guess we gotta look at the meeting date after that. The only day that I can't meet is that first Thursday. I have the Void Task Force meetings of each month.
If you want a date, we'll just,
If what?
if you have a date that works for you and you know it.
Because he's,
Yeah, I don't right now, their calendar.
yeah,
I guess like anything, like more than a month away is probably good,
Yeah, for your,
at least a month, yeah.
she said, Joe has, these guys, yeah, everything should be on there for,
Jennifer, I won't be here for the first 3 weeks of next month, so if we could make it the last week of
Yeah.
the month.
so there's law enforcement, the 24th and finance.
Sure. Do we want to have it on a Thursday again?
I think that. Isn't finance?
You know, next month, how long you think it takes you to, you gotta have it
I
up
just
for
want
2
to,
weeks.
I just want to give people like a full month for the land sale, so, if we want to do sometime in the last week of August, we could do like,
We can't do Thursday. because
yeah, we can't do Thursday, but,
26.
not gonna be here. It's my birthday. Oh. We could do like first week of September.
The first week in September? Okay.
How's that look?
The only time I can't do that is on a Thursday again, first
Oh.
Thursday in September.
Is it on a different day, Jen? Like on a Wednesday?
Yeah, or a Tuesday, it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Okay.
You wanna do, we could try Tuesday, September 1st, does that work?
Yeah, that should work. Let's see, August, September 1st is on a Tuesday. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That would work.
Okay.
And
September 1st.
that is for, to set the date for the land sale, or what is this?
Our
for?
next meeting and last,
Our next meeting?
and last sale.
Okay.
Okay, September 1st. Okay, I guess we go next to land descriptions then. Number one, public comments. Is there anybody there for public comments on land description? Public comments, land description.
Don't think we have any.
If there aren't any public comments, let's go to item number 2. Request for removal of mineral rights on parcel ID 251-00-563-0000.
Okay, so, we kind of discussed this last meeting. I had I had an attorney contact me on behalf of Chrysler Lynn LLP, who owns Mellon Manor at 450 Lake Drive in Mellon. And they were requesting that the county release our mineral reservation, our mineral rights reservation on the property. Yeah, the email from him is up on the screen there if you don't have it in front of you. So I just wanted to put that on the agenda for this meeting for the committee to discuss. And then I believe this is something we'd have to take to the full county board. The full board would have to approve it. But I think the committee, the committee has to bring it to the board.
So we have to make a recommendation to the full board on this, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
whether or not we want to grant them that release of mineral rights or not.
The comment on that one is, they're requesting to take over the ownership of that whole thing then?
Well, I believe
Because I was a kid, I grew up on that, and I know that was a park for many years.
okay. Yeah, basically the owner just wants the mineral rights removed because it's a, it's a mark on their title. Yeah, they wrote in a letter, the reservation of mineral rights was reserved in the 1960s as a matter of standard operations in the county, but has no value and is a blemish on our client's title. So they're asking for it to be removed.
Jennifer, this is Pat Kinney. They're asking to acquire the mineral rights as opposed to removing the mineral rights, correct?
Let me see.
Well, my only issue there is they'd like to release by July 31st, which this has got to go to the whole county board, does it?
Yeah, I mean,
So
we're
we're not
not,
gonna have a meeting before the 31st. What it's telling me, and it's not in there, is maybe they have maybe they're trying to sell it and they want to get that,
yeah, probably.
I don't know.
So, yeah, so they're asking for a quit claim deed for the mineral rights, which is basically how mineral rights are, released or terminated, usually
You
by
know,
quit claim deed.
did you look at it? What part is got mineral rights that the county owns? Says that it's a part of the, you know where it is?
Yes, I do.
Mellon Manor there.
Yep, they took a lot of gravel and sand.
And the only request is that it's a blemish on the, well, I mean, this is, what is it, 60 years now? Nobody's looked into it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, usually if somehow the county acquires a property, when we deed it to somebody new, we will oftentimes reserve the mineral rights just because, I guess, I don't know, but, yeah, like, I mean, it's just kind of was a standard practice and these people are requesting that we release our mineral rights to the current owner, so.
I'd like to make more details. You know, understand what they're asking for?
Yeah, they're just asking just for mineral rights.
You know,
I guess for us, it doesn't, their intent
It
is different. If
If
they're
they're
willing to get mineral rights and want mineral rights, my understanding is an ongoing business. I don't think they're gonna turn it into a gravel pit. So,
I don't have an issue with it other than, you know, in the 80s, we had a couple of oil companies come through looking for oil under us. And we found out that the farm I'm on, the rail came through and took all the uneven sections of mineral rights, and they wouldn't give them back and they wouldn't sell them to us. You know, so we didn't own any of them, you know, we owned the even sections, but not the odd sections, so I would like to see what would it matter? Mineral right's only a mineral right. Unless you're digging or looking for gold or something, a mineral right really don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
So I would like to understand more why they want that mineral right. It just said it's a blemish on the title, well.
So let me ask you this then. Is their intent is just to clear up the title? Or is there intent to take, let's say, gravel out of it? Or salt? I mean, the question is, why is it in the best interest of taxpayers to own the mineral rights on a private piece of property? What would we do with it?
I give it to them, I don't need the mineral rights.
If we
The
don't,
county don't need the mineral rights, there's nothing there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the county doesn't need the mineral rights, I think we just be done with this and give it back to them.
Yeah, it cost us nothing. There's probably nothing on this parcel anyway that, you know, besides, I don't think the county would just waltz up to the property and start digging anyway, you know, it's just not. I think we should give them the mineral rights.
You know, this has been 60 years and non-detected or non-caring. I mean, you can still buy mineral rights. I mean, you can buy them. People can offer mineral rights back, you know, with the issue of oil and gold and, you know, somebody might have a long range thought on it, but I have no reasons. Do you want us to make a motion here and then send it to the county board?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and release those mineral rights.
I'll second. Yeah.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any further discussion on it?
Yeah, I like, the rest home has been there for many years. It's been taking care of a lot of people through the years, so I have no problem giving it back to them.
And to move the full county board for approval?
Yeah, I made a motion, Pat seconded it to send it on to the county board, so
Okay,
you know
let's
when
vote
the.
on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You're just
Abstentions?
gonna have to
Motion
wait.
carried.
Yeah, so they did mention a date, they'd like to have it released by July 31st, and I told him,
So
this gentleman
You
called
gonna
me.
write up a resolution? You'd almost have to write up a resolution,
We have
right?
to do a quick claim deed, actually.
Yeah, it's still to go with a
Yeah,
resolution
I'll do
to
both.
give the quick claim deed to the owner of the property.
Yeah, so I'll contact this attorney, and I had already told him that it would likely not be fully released by July 31st because of the timing of all the meetings, so, hopefully he's just fine with that.
Okay, I guess we're ready for the next item. Discuss property subject to tax title.
Yes, so I passed out here our updated list of tax deed notices served. And then I had also given to Amy some of that to be included with the packet that was mailed out, so, and it's on the screen as well. The only difference with the one that I printed today is that we updated a few of the amounts that were paid. But other than that, there's really no difference. I did put in the column for assessed value.
When you do, who does the assess value?
The assessor for the town.
And he goes through every one of these and checks it out and does the assessment on every one of these.
Well, the assessor for the municipality assesses every parcel in that municipality. I'm just taking the numbers that they have already assigned the properties and adding it to this list. This isn't like a separate, like we sent out a property appraiser. That's not what this is. It's just the assessed value of the property.
How often are they assessed?
It kind of depends. usually if there's a sale, a property will get assessed then following the sale, just to verify the sale amount and everything. Otherwise, I think generally they probably look at a property
Something right
once
was.
every years or so.
Thank you.
And then by statute, they have to do like a townwide revaluation for years, so.
The one I've been working on, they got it assessed at 185. I just got it opened up. I don't know how they assessed it already. It looked like they assessed it on 717. Oh, that's a tape over there.
Yeah, so, I know there's a lot on this list, right now because we just are, you know, sending new notices for everyone that's delinquent on their 2017, so this list's really big right now. It usually does get smaller as we go throughout the year as people pay this stuff off. So hopefully everyone had a chance to kind of look this over before the meeting, so if anyone has any questions.
Jennifer, this is Pat Kinney. The amounts that are owed there, are those amounts that then when paid get divvied up between the different taxing entities, or just the portion owed to the county only?
So the amount that's owed, we actually have already settled with all the taxing districts. So, yeah, so all this money is money that we're carrying, debt that we're carrying, I guess.
Yeah, basically what happens, Pat, is every August, we basically settle with each municipality and township and city. And then if the taxes aren't collected, we basically go through the process you're seeing in front of you today. After 3 years, we can come and take the property, and then we keep the proceeds.
So the other taxing entities, do they get the full amount that they're owed, or do they get a portion if the taxes aren't paid on time?
They get the full amount. So the county is kind of like the bank on this operation.
So what happens if you sell a parcel as a county and it exceeds the amount that is owed in taxes? What happens to that excess?
If the property was a homestead for a period of, I believe, 5 years prior to taking tax deed, the former owner would be entitled to those proceeds. If not, that's just extra money the county keeps.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So I guess another little update relating to these tax delinquent properties. I did go ahead after last meeting to take a tax deed on those 5 properties that we had discussed doing so on. And then this week, you guys gave me the go ahead to take the Cobus investment property once that was ready to go. So I did that early this week, got that deed recorded. So all 6 of these properties that we took are going to be on this land sale coming up. So.
The last one that is on the tax sale, no, then it will be on the sale.
The Cobus? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, are there any other comments or questions on this list? Okay. Okay, then I guess I'm all done with that part. So we can talk about land sale now. So, this is my big list of land sale properties.
Is another one of them, or is that the same as this one?
No, we have a separate one. Do you need one?
Yeah, so I did make a couple changes to the one that got sent out with the packet. There was, so I filled in the Cobus property that's highlighted on yellow number 2. We took that one, and then sale number 8, which was that that Lipka property. On my records, it's still showing that they own it. Unless I looked at the wrong parcel.
Yeah, Max said he was gonna record that.
Okay.
We'll double check with Lee.
Yeah,
But that,
Okay.
we
Yep.
should be the owners of that piece of property.
okay. And I wasn't sure on that either, because I didn't know if Lance,
There are 2 separate Kens in that same
oh,
corridor.
okay, I see.
We own the
Okay.
one that's on the west side of that, the southwest side of that corner.
Okay, okay, I got it. Okay, so we can actually re-add that one, because I think I know what I need to do there to find it. So yeah, and then one of the other things I wanted to talk about with this list, if you look at sale numbers 5 through 7, 5, 6, and 7, conveniently enough, with very good timing, the former owner of those properties just called me on Monday and didn't realize that the county had taken the properties. So that news had to be broken to him, but he called on Monday asking if he could buy them back. So I did get I told him to email me like a little letter, with his intent and put it in writing basically that he wants it. So I didn't have enough time to send that out with it, but I can read it here. So this is from David Hausler, and he writes, I am emailing you because I've misplaced the tax papers. I know I'm delinquent. I would like to resolve and pay whatever penalties, fees to get this property back in my name. Has been in my family for a long time. If you could please help me get this resolved, I would appreciate it. Thank you. So my question is, do we want to take numbers 5, 6, and 7 off of the land sale list and sell these back to the former owner, David Hausler, for the back taxes? Or would we like to keep it on the land sale?
We had a question, it's a legal question. If we were to make this arrangement with the owner, which I would support doing, provided we don't set a legal precedent here and then create issues later with other owners that want to be treated differently than we would otherwise go through in this process.
So what, I guess for me, the question would be, before you got here, Pat, we had a case of a property that had 40 acres, had a little lake on it. And we had taken the property, and I think it's a very similar situation, and we went forward with the land sale.
Mm-hmm. So,
what's the difference here?
right. So the difference here is on that previous one with the 40 acres, the lady who had previously owned that contacted us after we had already published the land sale. So the land sale was already out there and going on live when
Okay.
she contacted us. The difference here, our land sale's not going on yet. We haven't published it out there, and he's asking to buy it back.
Okay.
So if we haven't crossed that threshold of including it in the list to send to land sale, I'd ask the administrator, do you think we're okay from a precedent standpoint of just simply removing those 3? If Jennifer believes that the owner or previous owner would make the payments and get squared away?
Yes, I would support that decision, because I think that's a pretty fine demarcation line. If you've basically published it and it's available for the public, and then you go back and sell it to the previous owner, that's the problem. I think before we publish it, I'm fine with selling it back to the owner before we publish it.
So Jennifer, was that 5, 6, and 7?
Yes, that's correct.
I'll make a motion that we remove parcels 5, 6, and 7 and ask Jennifer in the next month or prior to the next meeting to make the arrangements with the previous owner. And if they're not made by then, to include it in the land sale.
So basically, you're basically putting a deadline on the guy to pay. It has to happen before the next meeting, or it will be listed, published.
Right, because my understanding is he wants to come in and get it squared away. So if he does it by the next meeting, fine. If not, then it gets published. Resolution
second.
one way or the other.
George seconded it, so.
Okay, got motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion carried.
So, so now we can talk about the rest of the parcels on the land sale. So on the list here, I've got it broken down, I've got property descriptions, and then I have some columns for the total taxes and expenses. That's basically the amount that we want to at least recover. The next column is the assessed value, which is set by the municipal assessor. And then next column after that, value from last land sale. Basically the value we tried to list these at during our last land sale and then didn't sell. And then the highlighted column is my recommended value to be set for this land sale. But these are totally up for being changed if you guys want to change them. These are just numbers that I threw out to list them at.
Jennifer, do these go on bids then, or are these, if someone wants it, they say, yep, I'll pay that, and then they can buy it?
So these are by bids.
Okay.
We do sealed bids. So we'll have like a spot in the county clerk's office where people can submit their bids. They fill out a sheet and then put however much down. And then at our next committee meeting, we'll open up all the sealed bids, and whoever has the highest bid will win that property.
Okay, thank you.
So I know this list is pretty long too. I sent it out early so that you guys would hopefully have a little time to look at it ahead of time. I don't really want to go through them line by line, but we can, I guess, if you want. Otherwise, we can just make a big overarching motion to accept these.
Jennifer, the only one I have a question on is the Cobus. I'm surprised at the difference in the assessed value at 195,000 versus the recommended sale. And I do know abandoned gas stations can be a headache as far as expense to remediate that. So why is it assessed so high if it's got that gas station? And why are we asking 20,000?
Yeah, so it's assessed that high. It probably hasn't been reassessed for a while. That was probably the assessment set when it was still operating. You know, it's a commercial building in Glidden. The value that I set on there, I just kind of threw a value out there. I really didn't know what a good one would be, because I know we're just kind of trying to get rid of this property because it is contaminated. And John, you said you had people interested in it, so I didn't know if you were able to give a little insight on what they were maybe willing to pay for it.
I got a question about that. Is, like, if it goes to a land sale, you already got the price below what they owe on back taxes. I was trying to get this land just on the tax part of it, but then they assessed it lower than the taxes.
For which property are you looking at?
I'm looking at the bottom one, gas station one. I see you had it assessed, but I know on another piece of paper I read where.
Number 2?
Yeah, it's number 2 on the first page of the land sales on that other one.
This is the BP gas station, right? Should be a second one.
No,
And
it's this one right here.
yeah, then you got, so the total taxes are 20,000 for,
Yeah, so the total taxes and expenses on the
now,
property,
does that include the DNR that's paid
that
off?
does not include the DNR lien.
Okay, well then, in order to sell that land first, don't you have to pay off the DNR first?
We
'Cause
do
the
not, we don't have to, no.
Who pays that off then?
It would be the next owner, because we just sell the property as is.
I'm still a little confused.
Okay,
The new owners would be responsible for that debt.
yeah, yeah. The new owners would be responsible for the DNR, to pay off that DNR lien if they want it satisfied.
So the person would be to bid on that would be, I guess you would have to throw a low bid on that for someone to buy it, because if they have 20,000 to pay off on the DNR, you know, that's on top of the stuff, so. Are you better off to sell it on the back taxes or land sale?
Well, we're listing it on our land sale to sell it, yeah. That's what we're doing right now.
How much is owed in back taxes for this property?
$19,900. Plus, they would
On,
have, to-
on your other one though, it has 5 and 24, you have, this comes up to 30,000, how come we only have 19,900?
Yeah.
On what one, George?
is that still on this list?
Yeah, you see what I'm looking at? It has here, 2014, 5,000, and 2015 through 19, 24. That comes out to 30,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I see, so,
But here on the one we're talking about selling it for 19,900, and those numbers don't come up
oh, yeah,
even close. So
Yeah,
I'm just asking why those
Yeah,
numbers
no.
are so different.
I understand. Yeah, I made a mistake on here because I didn't calculate the rest of those taxes, so that was my mistake. This should be, the total taxes owed should be higher, and I can go calculate that really quickly. I didn't realize that I made that mistake, so I apologize.
So this is the right one?
No, it should be higher.
Because I don't know that we want to put it up for sale for 10,000 less than we got against that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And that's why I'm asking if you want me to go calculate that really quickly so that we can figure out a number, or if you guys just want to throw out a bigger number, that's fine. We do probably owe, yeah, I mean, if you look on the notice served list, it's like $30,000 of back taxes. So if you want to set it higher than that, that's fine.
Cause I know the building's a nice building, it's well worth 40,000 or whatever it's in that dollar rate, that's cheap, but. I got 2 people interested, I could throw in a paper and then I know they'll snap it up right away, they can ask me, but I just have, I'm just still curious about the taxes and the DNR and stuff like that.
So what,
Because
what is
I
your
want-
question?
Just Ashland County closed this building a long time ago. And I went to the bother of DNR in Madison, having 2 ladies come down and meet me in Park Falls to get this back opened up again. And I'm just curious, the DNR is definitely gonna step in there. I have to probably get an okay from the DNR first to even sell the sign, wouldn't I?
No. We don't need to get the
'Cause
DNR's okay to
The
sell
DNR
it.
is involved with that. They remove the tanks. So
Right,
somehow-
so they remove the tanks and they place a lien on the property, and if the lien exists on the property, we don't have to get their permission to sell it. The lien goes with the property when we sell it.
So the owner is responsible for everything that happens
Yes.
after the sale.
Yes, yes.
Did we finish on parcel one? Are we setting prices now?
Yes, that's what we've been doing. Do we, I mean, I don't really want to go line by line. That's why I gave it to you guys ahead of time to kind of look at.
Well, we can
but
go line by line on the big ones. We really should talk about the big ones. Because
That's fine.
once we hit 26,
Yeah.
they're all 100. There's no sense in going line by line.
Yep.
I see the values, other than maybe 40. 40, we have,
So,
we got a $9,000 you're recommending, and there's 14,000 against it.
um,
And it's only worth 10, so that I can understand that
Yeah.
totally, you know.
so if I may, can we finish up with the Cobus one before we move on to other properties? Can we kind of go in order, just for my sanity's sake? Okay, so, I mean.
Jennifer,
want me to go-
do you have a number? I mean, when you look at stuff, do you have a number for us, a number two that you would recommend now? Or do you need to go back and do some calculations to give a number on what we are owed total?
Yeah, I'd have to go back to my office to get the exact number, but it's likely around $30,000.
So,
But
so if we wanted to have you go back and get the exact number and use that, would you want a motion on that, or do you want to pick a number like 30,000 or so and be done with it?
we don't need an individual motion because the motion will be to just accept the land sale values as discussed, basically. And then I'd have a marked up version of this that we could put in the minutes.
So you would go back on the Cobus property and calculate the number that's total and pencil that in and use that then? Okay.
I can do that, yep,
Okay.
or if you, like you say, if you wanna just stick a number on it, that's fine too.
I'd rather have you go back and calculate it and use that or something just above it to make it a round number.
Okay,
Yeah, other than that one, I don't see any problem with all the rest of them, putting them out there for what you recommended.
We still assess 1,000 an acre, that's what the normal procedure is.
yeah, I mean, assessments are around 1,000 an acre, yeah.
So do we want to jump that one to 30,000?
I believe Pat mentioned that he wanted me to go back and recalculate that and set it at that, the total taxes and expenses, or just a little bit above that.
Why don't you take a 5-minute break and figure that out, Pat? Does that work?
Yeah, if they want me to, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what Pat can do.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm okay with her doing it after the meeting and then just rounding it up so it's a round number, say to the nearest 100 or 1,000.
Oh, okay, sorry, I
Yeah.
misunderstood.
She has
Okay.
all the others to 100 or 1,000, so she could round up or go up to the next 1,000 after she calculates it. That should be fine.
I will do that. So are there any other of these on the land sale that we want to discuss individually?
I do have a question on how this turns out for the county in a typical year. So you've got a recommended value. How does the amount that the county collects as a whole on a land sale compare to what the county is owed as a whole on a land sale? Do we come out ahead typically, or pretty much even, or a bit behind?
Well, they can bid anything they want. We had a bid of 80,000, we only recommended 20 over on the island, so, you know, you put what we got against it, and then we got 3 or 4 people that want to bid on it, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, so it kind of ebbs and flows. I don't know. I haven't been here for enough land sales to really see what the trend is. You know, if we get like a 40-acre piece, they might only owe a couple hundred in taxes and we can sell it for closer to 40,000, you know, closer to market value. So in that case, we would get ahead, but sometimes we also get houses in the city of Ashland that are in disrepair that owe more taxes than the house is worth, and in those cases, we lose money.
So the reason I ask is, you know, if you set a price, that's probably where people are going to look at bidding or a bit above that. But then like that 40 you mentioned, you know, in some cases, maybe the recommended value should be a bit higher than the taxes and use that, those kind of properties to help offset the ones like the city of Ashland properties that are in disrepair. So to some extent, the recommended value or those starting bids, some of those, if we kind of eye the ones that we could probably set a little higher and still likely get them sold for that or a bit more, it might help to encourage people to bid on those a bit higher than they might otherwise and use that to help offset the ones where we may take a loss.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've tried to do that. So are there any particular ones in this sale you want to do that for, or?
You know, I don't know these properties well enough for me to pull out a property and say, yeah, how about this one? Other than the Cobus one, those numbers really were striking, you know, just on paper. But are there any that you see where maybe that recommended value could be higher because the property, for whatever reason, is perhaps desirable, and we could bump up a few of those and still likely get that or more? Do you see any like that, Jennifer?
Not particularly. If I do, I try to kind of write it in that recommended value. You know, I try to write it a little higher.
Okay, so you've already done that then.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm fine then. Yep, thanks.
I have a question on, if you go to a property 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, these are all Superior Edition in the city of Ashland. How long has the county been trying to sell those?
A couple years.
Let's put it this way, it's been on the tax, we've taken them a long time ago.
Okay.
And we've tried to sell them over time. And that's why we got them down at $200 and $300. We're just trying to get them on the tax roll.
Would it make sense to basically vacate the plat? And then, you know, because this is obviously a subdivision that never got developed. What if we vacated the plat, petitioned for a vacate the plat to the city, and then we have one parcel and let somebody else take a crack at it? I mean, when you look at these parcels, you know, they're 50 feet wide, some of them, you know, it's just like, it's probably not very marketable from a housing standpoint. I don't know what people are going to do with a 50-foot wide lot if they want to build a brand new structure.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Pat.
Well, from the city council experience, that idea has merit in general. If you put them together as a larger parcel and then perhaps, you know, look at the plat to start with and consider the adjacent landowners, there have often been adjacent landowners that are interested in those if there's enough land there to do something with. So you'd have to look at the particular plat and that. But the other issue to consider then is right of way. So if you've got phone, power, you know, whatever running through there, sometimes those parcels aren't real desirable because of the right of way given to utilities. So you'd want to consider that too. But if you can put it together as one larger one, then sooner or later there's an adjacent landowner that says, yeah, I would like to have that. It might be big enough then to add a garage or an outbuilding. Some people put in a garden, you know, things like that. That could make them more attractive. But then you've got some legal expenses to do that too. But if you've been sitting on them for a number of years and it's not going anywhere, you could do what you suggested there. The other thing is at some point, some of these parcels, the county just simply vacated things like ravines and stuff and says, We just simply don't want them. And then I believe you can give those to the city if you want to. And say, here, you deal with it.
Well, as you remember, well, you weren't on here, Pat, but the last time we ran this through, all these were on there for that, and you just don't get no bids.
Yeah.
We have, through time, had adjacent owners say, hey, I would like that piece. We can get a way to get it to them, you know, because nobody else is bidding against it, so. These are gonna come up over and over and over, and first thing you know, Jen's gonna get tired of putting them on there. So, we could give the ones in the city to the city, but then they ain't gonna pay no tax on them either. Unless they sell them or, you know, and if they do something with them. The problem we have right now is, we're supposed to take care of the weed control and everything on these.
So,
And that costs money.
you could also contact adjacent landowners and say, if we gave you this parcel, would you be interested? And then just ask them to pay the legal expenses to transfer the title. I think that's been done a few times too.
I'm not gonna disagree at all with you, Pat. The problem is for $200 for a parcel next to you, that's pretty cheap.
Right.
That's like giving it to them anyway if they want it, but most of these are landlocked. They're odd shaped. As you can see, this one is on the go on Ellis. The railroad goes through the property. I think you get too many people that want to bid on that. So,
Yeah,
What happens if we could give out a little more information on the land, such as putting up a billboard on this property? See, the only people that are interested in this, in buying land, they'll come and look at it at the courthouse and stuff, but for the public people that don't look for it and ride by and see a sign for sale, is more interested in somebody would be doing that than, in other words, I'm trying to get a little bit more information on each set of the properties. And it'd be kind of hard to put a sign out on every property saying this is for sale on a land contract or back taxes or whatever. That's all I'm trying to get is a little bit more information for the public people to know this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so we publish it in the newspaper, we put it out on our website, we tell all the county board members to tell their friends and family. I mean,
I see that point too, but what about like putting a sign on some of these bigger places where they have big values on?
There's only like a handful that are actually on a traveled road. A lot of these are just in undeveloped parts of the city, so not many people would see them anyway.
Jennifer, have you ever considered taking a map and then these parcels that are a few $100, mailing a copy of the, you know, the information on the bids and a map and say, here, this parcel adjacent to you will be for sale. The recommended value is, you know, the $100 or $200. And that way the adjacent landowners get in the mail everything they need to see, you know, including a map that says, if you want to buy this strip of land adjacent to you, you can, because most people aren't going to actually look at this. But if the adjacent landowners got a copy in the mail, maybe some of them would buy them.
Yeah, so we actually do that for every sale. We send it to all the adjacent landowners.
All right. Okay, good.
Yep, and I put together an interactive web map that we put out on the website as well, and I give people links to that and paper copies of maps. So.
What do you want us to do, Jen? You want us to make a motion to approve all the recommended values?
Yeah, if you guys are in agreement with these values, then yes, please.
It's a motion to approve the minimum bid amount for the landfill as discussed, set the date for bids due by.
They all look good to me. I mean, I don't have an issue, other than if we're gonna run that number 2 up to 30,000, are we?
Probably somewhere around there. I'll rerun the numbers and then fix that.
Otherwise, I do not see any red flags, because unless somebody else does.
Did you make a motion, George?
I'm just still asking Jen, what, if she wants us to approve it on her recommendation, and she hasn't told me yes or no yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's the purpose of the recommendation. These are the values I recommend, and it's up to you
All
to
right.
approve them.
Then I make it a motion that we, go along with Jen's recommendation for value for the sale.
I'll second it all but number 2.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All in favor?
All right?
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried.
I'm hoping to do a bid date, yeah.
Yeah, so because our next land sale meeting, or sorry, our next committee meeting is on September 1st. That's going to be the date that we open the bids, September 1st, 2020. And then the bids will be due by the Friday before that meeting, which will be August 28th.
What was the land sale date?
So the bids are going to be due by August 28th. And the bids are going to be opened on September 1st at our committee meeting.
In September, start up that again,
1st.
1st?
Tuesday, September 1st. Right? Okay.
Well, I got one comment to make. I've been on this committee for 28 years. And with the way Jen does some real unique work here, I appreciate that very much. We used to never get the assessed values. We never got that. Boy, and I'll tell you what, this is apples to apples. You can really you can decide what you want to do. We used to have to ask questions and this and that. Yeah, I knew they had it in their head, but boy, it's hard to transfer it to our brain. So thank you very much, Jen. I appreciate it.
Definitely second that one.
Very well done.
Very well done, Jared.
George, the internet was invented 1 year before you got on this committee, so there's definitely some changes since then.
You guys are already spoiled. Let's put it that way.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Let's put it this way. We went over some rough roads to get it. Oh, boy, did we ever.
Okay, well, that's all that I have. I don't have any other business. Oh, well, yeah, the last committee meeting, I had asked about the situation with the town of Sanborn taxes stuff. And I did get to talk to Corp Counsel, and basically there's, I don't think we're gonna send anything out until the court case is decided. In my opinion, it's just, I don't think we should do a bunch of work, to do all the doc prep and the research if it's not like a for sure thing. So I think we should just wait until the court case is decided. So just an update on that.
No, I've never, just a question, I've never been to a land sale, so basically, how does that work? Do you have that land sale in the courthouse here, where people come in and they bid on certain things? Is it done online, or how is that all done? I don't know.
Yeah, so with the land sale, we publish all the information out, and then people fill out a form, a bid sheet form, and they put their bid on it, and they send it into the clerk's office in a sealed envelope. Then in our next meeting, we get all the envelopes in and we open them all at once, and then it basically goes to the highest bidder.
Okay.
So what, just out of curiosity, I mean, like we have, the county has a bunch of surplus property on Wisconsin surplus site. And it's a live bid that goes on for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, so people can see what people are bidding. Are you precluded from having a live auction?
Via Wisconsin surplus?
Well, or some other type of form of bidding. So I mean, I know if George only bid $200 for that, well, I really want it, I'm gonna outbid George, I'm gonna give 225, and you're gonna say, well, I really want it, I'm gonna give 250.
Yeah.
And you go through, it's like a regular auction, you get to the end, all of a sudden you own the property for $300. You don't think that would work?
We have enough trouble getting anybody to bid. You know,
So, I don't know about like a live in-person auction. I don't know that we have anything that prevents us from doing that. But, I have been looking at Wisconsin surplus and considering that as an option for future land sales. I didn't want to do it on this one because I just started looking into it like last week.
Yeah.
And I didn't want the, you know,
No,
but I've reached out, I did some like digging on there, you know, after you listed the stuff, and I looked through some of it, and I noticed other counties list the tax delinquent properties on there. So I reached out to some of those other counties to see like, hey, do you like this? Do you think you get more, do you get rid of properties quicker with this? And the, like, kind of the general consensus is, yeah, because it reaches a larger audience and people go, oh, I can buy this property for like the taxes, the back taxes are a little bit more, and they'll buy it sight unseen just because they think it's a good deal.
well, and you can probably have a link in there to say, here's a map of where it is too.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, this doesn't mean much to me, frankly.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
George has been here 20 years. He knows these places like the back of his hand, but
yeah,
yeah, okay, well, that's good. You're looking into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would encourage us to, at the next land sale, to figure out our policies and procedures to move forward and offer them on a live auction.
yeah,
well, having the privilege of having experience, we have always kept very well on top. If you want to get, you know, and we have never exposed ourselves to a Minneapolis or, you know, which probably nobody wants to, but we put it in 2 local papers. Now, just so I don't spend a lot of time shedding light on it, Bayfield County never did for many, many years. And about 15 years ago, they decided to sell all their excess land, and they hadn't done it for 30, 40 years. So they hired a area person, an auctioneer. They took all this, put it together, put it in a brochure, and they sent it to Minneapolis. They had old gravel pits. They got $50,000 for them because people wanted to come up and bid on them. This group, they got over $2.5 million in their budget, and this auctioneer that did this got a $250,000 pay scale. You know, that's, you know, and I tease Bayfield County with some sincerity because they have lots of money. And if you've seen the paper here a while ago, and I already got on a couple of their board members because I know them all, as to say, hey guys, you know, what gives? You're going to have problems paying your bills, Bayfield County? That's not going to happen, you know. So if you would like to, down the road, take this and go farther out with it, we can do that. It costs money. But if you think, especially when you got something from the island, if you got something from the Madeline Island, you probably want to get that down to the cities. You have $100,000 piece, you might get $350,000 for it. And I can shed light on that too. After 9/11, we had 4 bankers from New York City call us. A week later, they had each bought an acre on the island. They paid big money for it. They wanted us to get this all together so they could build their houses that fall. They were afraid that they were going to get hit again. And no, you're just going to wait till time comes. But boy, they paid some big bucks for those acres over there. So you could do that with something like that, but I don't know if you want to. We had I've got experience with that too. We had a fellow come in here about 15 years ago, and he bought up all these. He bought up about 30 parcels, never paid tax on them, come up and looked at them all and said, you gotta be kidding. And he only paid $100 a piece for them, but he probably figured he could stipend somebody into buying them for big bucks, or maybe somebody wanted it. So we've been there, done that, so, yeah, we
So you,
could try it, we have never done that.
so you're thinking about the same thing as a real estate company come in and maybe look at this stuff too then?
Well, I think the first step we would do is Jen and I would look at maybe even this time, we could take one property that we think is valuable and stick it on Wisconsin surplus and say, "Hey, I don't want to put all these 40 properties up and have something that we can't handle. But if we put one up and just see what happens with that, because that's statewide and even, I mean, we get bids from all over on it. We're selling all this stuff we have in the hallways on this thing. You know, so.
Well, like I said, we can try anything. I mean, we've always had a committee that was willing to try anything. I don't know if Jen needs more work. And she does. But at the same token, down the road, you know, like I said, the Madeline Island, you would probably get some pretty good bids on it. Never thought of that. That would be a pretty cool idea.
And Lori knows how to do the Wisconsin surplus site, so if you just send her the information on one property, let's list one property on that site, in addition to just listing bids, just see what happens.
Pick out a nice chunk of property that'd be looking good and
Yeah,
and
I
throw
don't
it out
know,
there.
I don't know if we can do it on this one, because, I'll have to check in to see, I know we have policies for doing it by sealed bid, so I don't know if that would,
Oh, we may have to adjust or get
Yeah,
approval
yeah,
from the board to change
Yeah.
our policies. Good point.
so I would check, I'm gonna check on that first, but.
So
Yeah.
Clark, you know, Bayfield County, as George said, used to do an auction, a live auction, and there was pros and cons to that. One of the cons is the people from the cities weren't necessarily up for the live auctions, or not everybody could make it. But the daily press, so few people get that anymore, let alone read it, that the people who see these, you know, parcels for sale is just getting to be fewer and fewer. But almost everybody, or most people, have internet access. You know, it might be at the library or somewhere, but if it's on the internet, more people are going to see it. And then you can also put other information there about the process for bidding and, you know, maps of where they're located, et cetera, whereas that's pretty hard to do in a paper. So I would really, and I've looked at land auctions, quite a few actually, of parcels online, but I never look at the stuff in the paper. So I think the online route is the future, and I'd encourage you to look at it.
Didn't Brittany do a GIS thing with all the prospect for sale?
Yeah, I made a map, an interactive map, yeah, and I made it for this time again. Oh, yeah, it was just waiting to get this meeting done, and I'm gonna publish it.
So I don't know if you heard that, Pat, but we have an interactive map that we'll have on the website that will list all the county properties for sale.
Yeah, right now you're listing these in the daily press, right?
Yeah, and they're going on our website.
Yeah, so, you know, as far as where we put resources, I mean, the press is still one avenue, but the readership keeps declining. And if we moved the bidding process online too, that's where people are looking. So when you run the ad in the press, you know, hopefully there's a little paragraph there that says, look at the Ashland County website for maps and other information, so people know to look there for more than they see in the paper.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, thanks.
Do we have like a county Facebook yet, or is it still just kind of the, like, different departments?
Yeah, if we don't have a countywide Facebook, I think we probably should.
Yeah,
So that'll be on the agenda to figure that out.
okay. All right, well, that's all that I have.
Good job.
Okay, I guess we go to land records next, then.
Did we approve a motion though?
Yeah, for the bid. Yeah, there was motion for the bid, for land sale bid.
But did we vote on it?
I thought we did.
Oh, maybe not.
If we didn't, let's do it.
All right, yeah, call the question, Joe.
Yeah.
Brittany looks like she's on top of Morgan Falls.
Copper Falls.
Morgan Falls, Morgan Falls is the second highest,
So Joe,
falls in.
call the question on approval of the land sale further recommendations of staff.
Okay, we'll call a question. Let's vote on it then.
Yeah, ask for a vote, Joe.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. Land records,
Rick is on
GIS
there.
coordinator written report. Next.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So this last month, we had our FEMA grant, our advanced assistance grant kickoff meeting. So there's a GIS portion up front that I've been working heavily on. This grant is Ashland County focused, but there are many partnerships between the USGS, the DNR, and the Forest Service. We are also working with Northwest Regional Planning Commission on the GIS portion. So between all of us, we're figuring out the best way to kind of do this GIS portion, which will be a inventory up front and kind of, sorry about Kennedy.
A future board member there, huh?
Yep. So with that GIS portion, we are starting to map the known sites that have been damaged in 2012, 2013, and 2018. I finalized the 2018 yesterday, and then I'm just working through to Q&A those 2012 and 13s, and then we'll move on to working on our survey, which will have some field in the staff in the field looking at potential damages from future storms on culverts. So where are weak infrastructure points? Besides that grant, I've been working on the GIS server. Slow going there, working with IT to kind of get everything secure because we will be using this for our staff and for the public. So we want to make sure that we're not opening ports to the public that we shouldn't be. Moving along with that, we had our annual grant reporting. That went smooth, they accepted it. So besides that, I've been, you know, kind of just doing the day-to-day. It was only a month since my last report, so not a lot to mention this time. Do you guys have any questions?
No, looks like it's put together pretty good.
Yeah. Did we get a second from your little guy?
Little girl.
We got a motion then to approve the report.
I so move.
Okay,
second.
second. We have a second.
I have a second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Other business? Any other business? Do we have a motion to adjourn if there is no other business?
So move.
Okay. Second,
Second.
motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried.
Yeah, going online or that with a sale, you know, with you know, you gotta